Hi, everyone. Thanks for our speakers, first of all, for introducing the challenges at hand when speaking about sustainability, giving extremely helpful insight, I think, for you guys throughout the weekend to understand how to build the most impactful projects and solutions in light of all these insights, specifically on sustainability and also the automotive industry. So throughout these 2 days, you have 3 tracks to choose from. The first one is the VeChain track, which is rather free. Then we have a BCG automotive industry specific track, and then the pitch-a-thon. So let's start with the VeChain track. Your challenge is simple: to incentivize individuals to perform sustainable actions. You have to build a sustainability-driven D-app in order to compensate these sustainable actions. There's 3 components that you need to consider when building this D-app. The first one is the actions themselves. How are we ensuring that these actions are traceable, that they can be verified throughout time, and that we're sure that the individuals are being truthful in how they're reporting these sustainable actions? The second component is the reward component. So how are we incentivizing individuals in their daily lives to feel motivated to drive sustainable actions and perform these actions in their daily life, whether it's in an industry or in just their daily habits? The last component to consider is the ecosystem. How are we inserting this D-app into a sustainability-driven ecosystem? So regarding data collection, we have a couple options that you can explore, such as photo collection. There's a wealth of opportunities in order to track and verify these sustainable actions. Then for incentivization, we can look at, for example, gamification, the introduction of tokenization. This is something, for example, that Antonio presented earlier today. We also can introduce money can't buy events, really feel as creative as possible in order to reward and motivate individuals to feel excited about their sustainable choices every day. It doesn't have to be a guilt trip, it doesn't have to be a weight. How are we making the sustainability challenge actually exciting and motivating in our daily life? Then I'll leave the floor to Sabrina for the BCG automotive industry track.
Hi everyone, so exactly, I'm Sabrina, I'm from BCG, and within BCG, and you have heard a lot already, so I'm trying to keep it very short, so if you give me 5 minutes of your attention, that should be enough. So in BCG, we looked at what type of innovation we can bring to kind of drive sustainability, and you probably wondered just like, oh, these were great talks before, but what do they actually have to do with today? So in BCG, we looked at what actually drives sustainability in the automotive market. 2 things we basically discovered. One is we need to be more sustainable in the way that we drive. So we invited Monterey. The other thing that we said is we have congestions in the cities. It's more and more difficult to get around. If you drive into London, it's easy to get there, but as soon as you hit the city border, it's so difficult to actually navigate through all the traffic, especially during like peak hours. So the 2 things that we basically want to do with the track is we basically challenge you to solve those problems. Look at the problems around you, everything that you've heard so far, get your brain juices flowing, and the things that we would love to do is we would to challenge each and every one of you to solve the problem of the congestion or of like driving sustainable behavior in the automotive industry. The way to do this is to leverage Web3, of course, and to build a scalable, user-centric app. Really think about, can my grandma actually use it? Can my mother really use it? Can it be scalable? Is this just a really niche thing, or do we can actually bring it to the market? Is it something that everyone want to use? So based on this, we basically want you to look at 3 different things: the scalability, usability, and sustainability. To kind of get you a little bit of an idea of what you can do, we identified 5 problems and the extra earns behind it, just to kind of give you some ideas. Problem number 1, urban congestion, what we just said. How about instead of using your own vehicle, use a bus, use a shared car or something. Try to incentivize people really to do that change. You don't all need a car. So how about building an app that actually changes this? So to free our cities up a little bit and give us a little bit more freedom, better air, and so on. So we have the Right to Earn app, for example. Another one is the transitions to EVs. We already heard the market is growing. So how about most of the, well, let's say older generation, they really do love their combustion engine. Change that. Make an incentivization system that actually drives them to change to electric vehicles. How can you make people want to change? So we have the switch to earn. We also have the shared vehicle incentive. Do you actually know that if you have a private vehicle, you use it only 4% of the time? 96% of the time, it's literally just standing around at your work or at home. So how about you basically make a shared app, if you have your private car, make it available to others? Another idea. The other two we have go in the direction of the EV charging. First, we have seen the gap. You have seen that there are way more vehicles than charging stations. How about you make your private EV charging station at home available in rural areas? That could be one idea. So therefore, we have the charge share to earn. And the last one, what we heard, is if everybody that has one of those electric vehicles start charging at the same time, well, sorry, everything breaks down. So how about you try to incentivize to actually make people charge only during the night, when nobody else is really using the grid? Think about like you have the off-peak charge to earn. So these are just some ideas on how you can actually use the problems that we have identified in the industry to come up with ideas and come up with the next unicorn. We have heard it's already happened, so you could be the next one. To do that, we basically have a few requirements for you. So I don't know, Marina, if you wanted to take this.
These are all available on the Notion as well as the problem statement. So if you have any questions, they're definitely answered on the Notion, or please come directly to us.
Exactly. As the last point, because I know you're all really keen to kind of put your hard hat on and get into the nitty-gritty of the code, but before you do that, maybe take a few moments to fill out this one-pager. Really think, what is the vision? What is the stuff that you actually want to change? Solve problem. What is your unique selling value? There are so many apps out there already that probably do something similar to you. How do you stand out? What is your unique angle to solving this problem? Not only that, think about the technology, and that's, I guess, that you're all really good at, but also think about the market. Is this so niche that only 5 people in the world need it? Or is it something that everybody wants to have? Think a little bit further and really find like the idea and how you can bring it to market, because this is what we all want in the end. So therefore, the business model and also the tokenomics is important. If you have a minute, look at competitors. Does Uber already do it? Is this already done by Tesla? Really check out and try to kind of see the big picture. And if you do all of that, as said, you could be the next unicorn. So we want you to actually fill out this slide that you will also have available. And if we go, I think, one more. Oh, sorry. We will also give you one pre-filled example that you can also see later to kind of get you an idea on how to fill out the one-pager.
And lastly, if you don't have necessarily the time or the technical knowledge to go into the nitty-gritty and code a project throughout these 2 days, feel free to also participate in the pitch-a-thon that will happen tomorrow at midday, and submit your idea through a simple pitch. That is also an option for example, business students, or if you don't have necessarily the time to code a solution today. So we have 2 resources today available to you to have a few information on vBetterDAO. They're one-pagers to give you a bit more insight on the platform that was presented today by Antonio, as well as the extra earn one-pager that you just saw by BCG. And it's specifically for the automotive industry. So it's an example of how that format and that template is to be filled out throughout the hackathon. So good luck, and we're really excited to see how your project that you're building this weekend is going to power the future. Thank you so much.